intensity exercise, you need always the carbs. Usually when I ask you guys what kind of intensity you play the ice hockey during the game, there's a couple guesses. Some players mention that it's average like 80 to 100%. It's might move like it is like from the 80% to 100%. If we took the average like 90%, and check how our body make the energy the moving. So the first, if we check this 90% that start moving forward, we see that our body use little bit protein to produce that energy, but not that much. It's like less than 5%, no matter what's the intensity. When we get upper here, we can see the fats. The yellow line describes how our body consumes fats during the performance. And actually you can see, the lower the intensity, the more your body uses fats. Another way, the higher the intensity, the higher the amount of carbs what your muscles use to produce energy. The problem is here when you consume too low, insufficient amount of carbs, or you have a high training load and long training sessions and you run out of carbs. What's gonna happen then? Can you guess? If you run out of carbs,
you start burning fats?
Yeah, you start consuming fats. Your muscles, working tissues start consuming fats. And typically then happens this. The maximal fat oxidation appears to be somewhere here, from the 60% to 70%. So if you run out of carbs, your body will start consuming fats and your performance will drop. Your performance will drop so much that you will notice that. Typically when you run out of carbs, it might be like a 3-hour training session, and suddenly after 2 hours you can notice that you can't keep up. The 60% is like the maximum what you can reach. Maybe 3 seconds you can go faster, but after that you need to lean on your knees. And this 60%, which described like a jogging intensity, that is the maximum what you can get there if you run out of carbs. Is here any athletes who have sometimes felt that kind of situation? You can raise your hand if you have. Yeah. Typically everyone has sometimes felt that kind of situation in your age. And that's the problem. That's the problem, because in this kind of sport you need carbs when you need to perform at a high intensity. And the carb storages they're limited. So we need to consume those carbs before the game, day before the game, and during the game. Next, a little bit more about that topic. But carbohydrate needs depends on your training load. The higher the training load, the higher the amount of carbs what you need. Can you see the numbers again? No. There we got this kind of sketch where there is a description of the training load. It's a light training load. If your training load is light, which means like a low intensity or skill-based activities, your carbohydrate needs might be then like 3 to 5 grams to your body weight. But if your training load increase, the moderate level, the moderate mean like 1 hour exercise during the day, moderate exercise during the day, your carbohydrate needs increase immediately to the level of 5 grams to 7 grams to your body weight. And if you had a high load training day there, which means like the 1 to 3 hours working, the intensity is like the moderate to high intensity. your carbohydrate needs will increase to the level which means like 6 to 10 grams to your body weight. There you need to calculate sometimes. It might be give you a better picture if you calculate a little bit these numbers. Let's say that 6 grams of carbs is some kind of standard level what you need to get from your diet. So you can get that amount of carbs, that standard amount of carbs what you need if you multiple the 6 with your body weight. 6 multiple with your body weight. What kind of numbers do you get?
600.
600, yeah. And it might be the standard level. If the training intensity, the training load is higher, you might need get bigger amount, like 800 and 1,000 grams of carbs. But there's also the smaller guys, which the amount might be a little bit smaller. What do you think about this kind of picture? You see the food items there. What do you think about which you describe this whole picture? How much carbs is there? What does it look like?
Total or one picture?
What?
Total?
Total, yeah. How does it look like? Is it insufficient amount or is it normal or what do you think, guys?
500.
500, yeah. Less than 400. So there's the 500. More fruits, more pasta, more bread, stuff like that. Little bit juice also. And here's the 500 grams. How does it look like? What do you think, guys?
A lot.
Is the amount of normal or what do you think about that? Is the big amount or? What do you think about protein sources there? Is there enough protein? Yeah. There is enough protein for the player who weighs like 100 kilos or more. So there's no needs usually the powders or protein pudding or stuff like that. Of course, sometimes when you have a high training session that you need to start the recovery immediately, it might be helpful to use as protein powders. But the total amount of protein what you're gonna need, it's easy to get. It's very easy to get from your normal diet. It's not that complicated. You don't need very much that kind of protein supplements, bars and powders. What they are giving to you from there everywhere. There are protein bars and shakes and but it's very, very easy to get those protein amount without those kind of supplements. Yeah.
Well, if you're saying that, how many grams of protein a day you're talking about? That you're saying that it's not hard to get it from a standard nutrition.
Yeah. It's quite easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I'm asking like how many grams of protein per kilo you're saying what you're talking about?
Yeah. About 1.5 to 2 grams. Depending your training load and maybe what you're aiming for. If you're losing weight or aiming to gain some mass, the higher protein might be beneficial then. But from 1.5 to 2 grams per body weight is typically the optimal amount.
Yeah, well, I know that's why I'm asking you. Because,
Yep.
like, honestly, it just doesn't look for me that those are 200 grams of protein in those foods.
Yeah, there's 180 grams. 180 grams. So if we calculated like if 100 kilogram player needs 1.5 or more, so there is more than 150 grams of protein. But yeah, if you aim in 200 grams, there might be need some kind of recovery drink where you can get those extra 20 grams. What could be also be beneficial there, especially when the training load is higher. That's a great question. Great question. Yeah. This kind of stuff. Next thing, next important thing is to understand that our body can storage energy a little bit. It can store, of course, you can need the adipose tissue, the fat. Every one of we have a fat. Someone have a little bit more, and someone a little bit less than another players. But the carbohydrate store. If we need carbs, if we need the carbs to perform during the exercise or games, we need to have the carbohydrates loaded to our muscle. And like you can see, the carbohydrate storages are limited. They're limited. You can put like 2,000 grams of carbohydrates and assume that it will be enough to perform during the whole game, 3 hours or what it will take from the start to the end. The carbohydrate storage is it is limited, and how long time it will last. So if you have like a training session which lasts like more than 1 hour and a half hour, more than one and a half hour. After that, you're gonna deplete your muscle glycogen levels. They're gonna start to deplete, and then you can run out of carbs. That's why during the longer and higher intensity training sessions, you are consuming these kind of sports drinks or bars or bananas or what kind of stuff, energy gels. In this kind of situation, there's a need to consume these kind of products. Because this carbohydrate storage is enough for a 1.5 hour performance. After that, you will benefit if you consume the carbs during the training. And have any one of you tried this kind of a low carb diet before? Yeah? What happened there when you tried that in the first couple days?
I think first couple of days felt good, but then you lost the energy.
Yeah.
After that.
What happened to your body weight? Was there any changes?
I guess skinnier, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, then lost a little bit the energy and
Yeah.
then started having some injuries.
Yeah.
You kind of felt that you run out of energy.
Yeah. So you noticed the problem here. So how important the carbs are there. But it's very beneficial to you what you know how your body works if you have noticed that before, felt that before. But why was asking how is your body weight changes there? Because if we have like 500 grams of carbs in our muscles, and every grams these carbohydrates on your muscle, it beats about 3 grams of water there. So if you run out of carbs or start consuming that low carb diet, you will in the 1 or 2 days you will lose like 1 to 2 kilos of weight, and it's typically the water. But in this kind of situation, it's like if your body works like a car. Of course, the car is more lighter when the tank is empty. So there's not any you don't do anything with that kind of car where the tank is empty. So it is important that you have enough carbohydrates to your muscle if you need to use your body. If you run out of carbs, sometimes you get depleted of the carbs, or the carbohydrate levels on your muscle get a little bit lower, like after the game or a hard training session. This picture describes you how fast you can increase your carbohydrate level back to the normal. This picture is from the study where there was average athletes, not the elite, average athletes, and they took the muscle biopsy, these guys. And at the beginning there was like the carbohydrate level, the muscle, the working muscles, you mean the thigh muscles, was about this level. After that, they put these guys to this cycle ergometer and asked them to keep cycling that long time that you run out of carbohydrates. So that long time you cannot keep up anymore. So after these guys were dropping the floor and they was getting them up there, they took another biopsy. Noticed the carbohydrate level in the muscle was the lowest. After that, they wanted to research how long time it will take to recover these carbohydrate levels back to the normal. And like you can see, it took 25 hours. If you want to do it as fast as possible. Typically, it took like 1 to 2 days if you keep working on that. In this kind of situation, they consumed more than 10 grams of their body weight and keep lying on the sofa. So eating candies and laying on the sofa. If you run out of carbs, you need to consume massive amount to recover these energy levels back to the normal. And we can see from this picture, if these guys couldn't consume those carbs, if they could keep consume those carbs and the energy levels was rise but only to here, in the next day they will come to the practice and notice I couldn't keep up. I'm a little bit tired and I don't know what's happening here because I'm gonna can't keep up. I'm a little bit unrecovered. And in this kind of situation, if you feel any time when you feel tired during the training or the game, you need to check what you have eaten day before the performance. The game passed a couple hours before the game, that's not matter. That affects how energy you feel during this time. Is it a good feeling or is your tummy bloated? But if you want to check how the nutrition affects your performance, you need to check the nutrition day before the performance. That's important to understand. And next thing you see, if we discuss a little bit the ratings of per served exertion. So how tough it feels, the performance. This is from the study where we had this also the bicycle ergometer test. And another group ate high amount of carbs. And the second group didn't eat. They was like on the keto or very low carbohydrate diet. So, and the day before this training session. So they couldn't affect body carbohydrate storage. And in this study, they asked them to cycle on the intensity of the 70% of their maximal individual performance. And they keep asking regularly, like every 20 minutes, how tough it feels. How tough it feels to keep that intensity up. So you can notice the high carbohydrate group, they didn't describe the RPE numbers that high that the another group described. So you can decide into which group you want it to be in the game. If you don't consume enough carbohydrates, you will be there. And there will be guys who are there and they can keep up and raise the intensity if they want it. But if you are there, you cannot do that. So let's ensure that you guys will be in the blue line. So if you are there, you can raise the intensity if you want it. And give the pressure to the opponent. And that's simple. That's kind of things we are talking about when we talk about nutrition. So how much pasta do you eat, guys? It's not that complicated. Sometimes, do you guys consume any supplements? what kind of supplements you use?
Creatine, protein,
Protein, yeah.
recovery powder, which is like 50-50.
Yeah.
Bars, honey.
Is there any other supplements what you get from there? Do you have own supplements what you use? What kind of? Could you describe a little?
Magnesium,
Yeah.
omega-6, salad, zinc,
Yeah.
joint care.
So a lot of different supplements. Yeah. Yeah. In this case, I will talk about the energy supplements and the carbohydrate supplements. Like I mentioned before, sometimes you need to use those carbs during the performance. If the length of the exercise is more than 1.5 hours. And why is that? Why is that? This picture describes us why is that. When you start your performance, like the game, your body will first use your body carbohydrate stores. But like I mentioned, if you had higher intensity than in this study, they had an intensity about 60 to 70% of their maximum. So if you increase your performance and play typical game intensity, your body will first use your carbohydrate storage, your endogenous carbohydrate storage. And if you don't consume any carbs, if you use biosteel, you get fucked up in there. That's why you need to use some kind of sports drink with the concluded some energy. That what you can get a little bit carbohydrate, because biosteel, there's no carbohydrate in biosteel. There are electrolytes, but your body won't produce any energy from the salts. That's the fact. So that's why you need good sport drink where you can get some energy, like a carbohydrates. And of course there's energy gels and bars and bananas. And your body will consume that carbohydrates no matter what you get from there. So if you want to consume there's some kind of candies, energy candies, or if you want to eat rye bread, please don't eat rye bread during the game. But your body will consume that carbs and the muscle will consume that to produce the energy. But if you don't consume that, you can notice the fat amount what your muscles use will increase. If the amount of fat your body will consume increase, your performance will go there. And of course, there will be the maximum again. But if you ensure that you have carbohydrates during the performance, you can keep up and keep your intensity here. Keep pushing the maximum intensity and the maximum level what you can have in your body. So the amount of energy what you get in your body wouldn't be the limit your performance. That's why it is important to use those sport drinks. So no any knockouts or no any biosteel stuff, because you can't have carbohydrates from there. You have discovered BCAA, which we don't have any studies that it could be benefit you guys. You got enough BCAA from the milk and chicken and meat what you eat. You don't need different little BCAAs. Transit chains, amino acids. Are you using that biosteel as a sports drink? Have you used this?
Yes.
Yeah. And main part of the ice hockey players which I have discussed have used the biosteel. But there's no sense. There's no physiological sense to consume that biosteel, because there's a lot better sports drinks than biosteel to consume. Because biosteel, there's no carbohydrates. how much carbohydrates you need during the performance. It depends how long time are you playing. So if you are during the game you are playing like 10 minutes, you might need a little bit less little amount of carbohydrates. But if you are playing 20 minutes or more, you can go to the here and the 60 grams of carbs per hour. So how long time the game lasts when you guys come here and start having the warm-ups?
Usually it's 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah. So if you calculate, and you are playing like 20 minutes average, 60 grams carbohydrates per hour. Is these products what you're using? Is there any other products?
Honey,
Honey, yeah.
bananas.
Yeah. One banana is like 20 grams of carbs. And what kind of honey? Is it the sticks or?
Yeah, the sticks and like big ones.
Okay, yeah. So there you can calculate. One banana is like 20 grams of carbs. And if you need to consume 180 grams of carbs per 3 hour during the 3 hour session, the game, how many energy gels you need? How much the sports drink you need? What do you feel, guys? Is it hard? Are you consuming that amount already? What do you think?
No.
Yeah. And that will affect your performance during the third period. So if you can increase the carbohydrate intake during the performance, you can keep up the intensity level. You are not getting tired during the third period. I will go to the next. There you can see how this thing works. Of course, this is some kind of example, but the sport is different. You know who is Chris Froome? He's a road cyclist, so this is a different sport, but it is very extreme sport. This is very extreme sport. So this is a road cyclist Chris Froome diet from the Giro d'Italy from the 2018, and there is his eatings during the mountain etap, where the mountain stage, where he was the length of the stage was like 180 kilometers. 180 kilometers in the mountains. So there was a lot of ascents and descents in the mountains. But like you can understand, if you're cycling in the mountains, you can't go behind another drivers that much and benefit that. So you need to keep producing power for yourself. So there is his breakfast. What did he consume during this mountain stage day? There's 200 milliliters of juice and 400 grams of rice. The rice during the breakfast, yeah. And yeah, of course there was a couple eggs, and after that, pancakes with a jam. But like I previously discussed due to the sports drinks there and the carbohydrates during the performance, here's the carbohydrates what he consumed on that stage during the 5 hour. 14 energy gels with and 2 this kind of rocket fuel where he got from the 80 grams of carbs per bottle. So total 500 grams of carbs during that 5 hour. Of course, this is the extreme. This is the extreme. But the principle is the same. If you want to keep your performance high intensity, you need those carbs. There's no any other options. Because this is physiology. It doesn't. It's the same what you are thinking. Your muscle needs carbs if you want to keep high intensity up. Okay, but hey, when the game is over, what are you guys drinking? What are you eating, guys? Are you having this recovery drinks or stuff? Yeah? So, After the performance, the game or the exercise session is over, it is important to notice this same pictures where you can see how the glycogen levels, so the muscle carbohydrate levels recover. You can notice that it's not the straight line from there to there. Right? But you can see that the first hours after the exercise are the most efficient time to recover your body. So in this time, you need those carbs a little bit more than in this another time there. So if you can check this picture from 0 is it like 3 hours. You can see that from 0 to 3 hours is the time when you can recover more than in the last 15 hours here. You can recover more in the first 3 hours than the last 15 hours. This is the fastest time to improve your recovery. And it depends how much carb do you have then. It depends how much carbs you have then. So how much carb you need if you want to optimize that? Optimize that recovery after higher training session. And of course, we can talk about this like a playoff situation when you are back-to-back game. You need to recover fast during the playoffs. So after the game is over, you start to immediately consume these carbs. There was like a couple of years ago when I was hearing some interviews, one player saying that pitää mennä himaan ja syödä vähän protskua. Oh, fuck this. That was this. Because after the game is over, you need these carbs. That's the time when you need these carbs also. So, just like before, I gave you this example. Give you this example. This was the extreme example, this road cyclist. But after he was crossed the line on the stage, there was his service. This is what he ate immediately in 20 minutes after he crossed the line. Because in the next day, you need to perform too. There was another mountain stage the next day after that. So you can see what this guy consumed to recover his body. There was a sports drink. There was some kind of recovery drink, what you are having, guys. After that, there is some kind of smoothie. Story doesn't tell what it contained. And there is a Haribo. What is a Haribo? What is Haribo? Yeah, what the hell is this guy eating candy there? Yeah, because he needs those carbs if he wanted to recover fast. Of course, this is the extreme example. Don't eat any every time Haribos when you need to recover. But sometimes it might be beneficial. There's a cherry drink, and after that, 400 grams of rice with syrup. So what the hell, guys? What the hell, guys? You eat the principle in here, okay? Of course, this is the extreme example. And after that, a couple bananas also. So total 430 grams of carbohydrates immediately when he crossed the line. Yeah. Don't copy this, but understand the principle here. Of course, there was a protein like a 76 gram and a couple grams of fat, but there was like a kilocalories at 2,500, a little bit less than 2,500 kilocalories. But the carb is the key if you want to recover. Of course, you need some protein, but typically the protein isn't the issue, because you guys are eating protein from your normal habits. That's enough what you get your normal diet and the recovery thing. But don't be concerned that are you getting enough protein. Hey, second case, and this was the liigakiekkoilija. This is the player who was playing in the Liiga during this season. I worked with this guy individually, and he gave the permission to use this anonymously. He was a Liiga player who weight was like 92 grams, and was his body fat about 12 to 13%. So typically diet. And this was his food diary from the normal 2 training session a day, where there was ice practice and some physical training there. So, what do you think about his foods? How does it look like?
Normal.
Normal, yeah. Who think it looks normal? What do you think, guys? Yeah, it is normal. So I was calculating the numbers, and just like you calculated before, like you need 500 or 600 grams of carbohydrates through the day. And I calculated the carbohydrates, what did these guys get, and what did he needs. From this diet, this guy carbohydrate intake was 250 grams. So what do you think? Does it look normal anymore? You know this guy should increase in carbohydrate. And also the protein intake. You can notice there's 200 grams of protein. And it's mainly from this and the chicken there. He was consuming the sweet potato and chicken here, so this was maybe the biggest protein bombs there. So, how much these guys should consume the carbohydrates? Because his body weight like 92 grams, and there was 3 hours of moderate to high intensity training. We can estimate here that his carbohydrate needs was at the lowest the 500 grams to 700 grams, something like this. So his training load was like here. So we estimated this was like 6 to 8 grams per day. And describe this actual carbohydrate intake. It was described like here. Yeah, so we good work to do with these guys. In the second situation, after I don't remember, it was like 1 or 2 weeks, he was the next food diary. After counseling, after he discussed with me. How does it look like now? How does it look like now? What do you think, guys? Normal, yeah. What are the changes? Can you notice the changes from the previous pictures? Candy, yeah, that's the one. But of course, notice there was like candies with on €1. There wasn't a huge bag of candies. It was like €1. So about 100 grams. About 100 grams.
What are bananas?
Yeah, bananas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bananas during the whole day. Yeah? Any other? During the breakfast, there was previously some kind of granola or muesli, and after that, there was rice. What is this called? Muraja, what is in English? Cereal, yeah, and a jam. There was a strawberry jam with the cereals. And of course, the orange juice. Previously, he got this berocca tablet there. But after we discussed, because this guy need more carbs, from the berocca you couldn't get enough carbs. There is no carbs in the berocca. So we changed the drink from the breakfast with the berocca to this orange juice. Carbohydrates from there. And after doing the training, then you can read, or do you see what is reading, yeah? No, yeah? There is described what he consumed during the training and after the training. There is malto. Do you guys know what is malto? Malto. Is there someone who doesn't know what malto is? It's the maltodextrin, so like a pure carbohydrate powder. So during the training, I recommended he to consume the sports drink, but he mentioned, no, I use malto. I use pure maltodextrin with the water. I said, oh, it's okay, it's okay. So he had 3 hours training session, and he consumed like a little bit less than 100 grams of maltodextrin. Few maltodextrin during the training, because previously he didn't consume any carbohydrate during the training. So from there, with the maltodextrin, he got like 100 grams of carbohydrates, more than previously. And after the training was over, he was having the recovery drinks, same kind of what you are having. So there was like a protein powder and also a little bit maltodextrin. After that, he go to lunch. And here is his lunch. You can't see maybe what is there, but it was the rice. It was the rice, and of course, here he got the dessert. Because this was the time he needs the biggest amount of carbs during the training and immediately after the training. Okay, here was the dinner at his home, and there was pasta. Previously there was a sweet potato. Sweet potato is a quite nice carbohydrate source, but pasta and rice are more dense. They contain more carbohydrates, pasta and rice, than potatoes or sweet potatoes. Or any roots. So, and other change here is the juice. So previously this guy was drinking water, or sugar-free Fanta, or Coca-Cola Zero. So another move was to change the drinks to the sugary drinks, or drinks that contain some carbohydrates too. Because if he, like you noticed, if this guy should consume like a double amount of carbs from the previous situation, and if I discuss and ask him to consume like a 10 rye bread or eat like a 5 liter of porridge or 20 bananas, you don't understand. It's not possible in practice. This should be easy. This should be easy. It's not that complicated. Okay, guys? It's not that complicated. And this was the dessert, the candies, and the snack before he was going to sleep. There was a juice and cereals and bananas and a couple breads. Couple bread too. And hey, let's read this. This was the discussion on our WhatsApp. What we were sending each other. This was the what he mentioned to me after a couple weeks of this diet. Couple weeks after this diet, he felt like he was keeping up better, and he was sleeping better than previously. And when he woke up in the morning, he felt a little bit better and better recovered than previously. And second thing was like his body weight was decreased, -1 kilogram, even though we increased his carbohydrate intake 300 grams, which means like we are increasing his energy intake 1,200 kilocalories per day. Over 1,000 kilocalories more, and his body weight was decreasing. So, this kind of shit. And after all, he noticed that he had more energy to do things. Better recovery, and better performance during the training and the whole day. And the circle closed up. Energy intake defines the process, and the carbohydrate is your main energy fuel. Do you have any questions? Questions about this topic or supplements or anything about considering about food or nutrition?
Is there any bad carbs?
No. It depends on the situation, because the bad carbs are those kind of put your stomach, you have stomach issue. So if you, why I mentioned that, don't consume rye bread during the training session, because it will absorb so much slower than the fast carbs. So typically candies are worse carbs. You say don't eat candies or don't eat too much candies. But during the game you need fast carbs or you need sugar during the game. So sports drinks and energy gels, they are compared to carbs. They are candies. They contain fast sugary carbs. So that's why it depends on the situation. But the most important factor is that you get enough, not the quality. Because sometimes when I show you guys this picture and I tell the story, if you're going from here to the Lapland and in the Helsinki you decide that you put your fuel tank only the Shell, you see 99 octane gasoline, and you not want to put the high quality stuff to your car tank. But when you start your journey towards the Lapland and about the height of the Oulu, you notice there's no shells there. You can't get this 99 octane fuel, the high quality fuel there. So then you go to the APC Tupos and put the 95 to your tank and keep going. Or other option is to run out of gasoline and standing there at the road. So which are you doing? There's the situation. It depends on the situation. When you are not having that kind of appetite, example after training, it's the most important that you consume something than put any effort at the quality. Did you understand it? Yeah, great. That was a good question. Any other?
What kind of sport drinks? Like, if you say biosteel, like not gonna like
Yeah.
Gatorade, Powerade, that's the same.
Yeah, Gatorade and Powerade are better because they contain carbohydrates. It is important that the drink contain carbohydrates. And sometimes if you are not sweating that much, you might drink like a juice also. But if you are sweating much, you might need some electrolytes, what you get from biosteel. In biosteel you get only electrolytes, but not carbs. Typical sport drinks contains electrolytes and carbohydrates. Juice contains only carbohydrates, biosteel contains only electrolytes. So that's why the sports drinks are the best option, typically.
How much does timing matter? Like if you eat a lot of carbs in the evening, or should you spread it out more during the day, or how much can your body absorb at a time?
There's no limit actually, because if you eat bigger amount, of course your digestion will slow down. So it took more time. But of course, how that affects you, how do you feel? It is easier to distribute the bigger amount of and eat more meals than a couple huge meals during the day. So I think it's typically like 5 to 7 meals per day is the optimal. It depends on the individual, but about 5 to 7 meals, because then you feel good, you feel energized, and too big portion can get you feel like exhausted and not that good. Any other? There's no stupid questions there. Coaches?
Is there any difference between the game and high intensity, hours, 3 hours, 20, 30?
Can you repeat?
High intensity 5 hours, 3 hours during the game, or 4 hours, which is about 30.
Yeah. So is there any
Does
difference?
that make any difference on the amount of carbs?
Not that big, not that big. Actually, it's main of the team sports that the recommendation is about the same. It is the same as the basketball. It is the same the football, the handball, from the 30 to 60 grams. But of course, in the ice hockey, there might be some possibility to consume too much also. Because in the football where I was working, there's only the one break during the whole game. But these guys, you are having so much breaks, it easily consume too much also. So that's why it might be beneficial to consume sometimes only water too. But there must be some carbohydrates served these players. But of course, not too much. That might be sometimes a problem. And if you consume too much carbs during the game, you will have stomach issues there. Because your bloodstream will go to the muscles, and if you consume huge amount of carbs during the performance, the bloodstream are not going there, and then you have yeah. But about 30 to 60 grams, depending on your training load. That keep your intensity up. Any other? And yeah, if I can continue, the typical problem still is the players are not consuming enough. It is rare that people consume too much, because they will notice that. But sometimes the player have used to this kind of situation when they consume only electrolyte drinks or water, not carbs at all. So they have used it in the situation when during the third period they are exhausted, totally exhausted, and they think it's the normal, but it isn't. Of course, it's some way, but some level, but not that level. Any other? Do you still have a time? Well, a little bit over time, but for me it's okay.
Great. Thank you.
Guys.